Welcome to your sanctuary of stillness, sleepy library. I'm the storyteller of a sleepy librarian. Hello and welcome. It is so wonderful and truly a comfort to have you here with me tonight. This is your safe haven, a quiet, dedicated space where the long, busy rush of the day can finally fade away into a distant memory. Wherever you are right now, whatever tasks or lingering thoughts are still turning in your mind, let this be the exact moment where you choose to release them. There is nothing else you need to accomplish tonight, nothing else you need to solve, and absolutely nowhere else you need to be for the rest of this evening. Your only purpose right now is to simply listen, to breathe, and to let yourself be wrapped in a blanket of total peace and safety. Go ahead and make any small, comforting adjustments to your position in bed right now. Feel the heavy, reassuring weight of your blankets as you pull them up gently around your chin, tucking yourself into a perfect cocoon of safety and total comfort. Allow your arms to loosen completely, letting your hands rest softly at your sides, with your palms facing up toward the ceiling or resting gently on your stomach, wherever they feel most natural and completely unburdened. Let the back of your head melt deeply and fully into the plush, welcoming center of your pillow, feeling the immediate support it provides to your neck and to your spine. Together, let us begin our transition to rest by taking a long, exceptionally slow, and deep breath in, drawing the cool, clean night air into the very bottom of your lungs. Fill your chest completely, feeling it expand like a soft, quiet wave. Hold that breath for just a brief, peaceful moment, savoring the perfect stillness inside your body. And now, release it very slowly through your mouth, letting out a soft, long sigh and feeling a wave of relief wash over your entire being. Let us do that once again, inhaling deeply, welcoming the quiet, restorative calm of this cozy hour into your mind and into your heart. And exhale slowly, letting your shoulders drop away from your ears, letting go of any residual tension from the day, and sinking a little bit deeper and a little bit heavier into the mattress beneath you. With every single breath you take, the waking world begins to step back, fading into a hazy, distant thought as you prepare to cross the threshold into a timeless realm of beautiful, warm dreams. As your breathing settles into its own effortless and natural rhythm, let us bring a gentle, warm awareness to your physical body. Imagine a soft, glowing silver light of relaxation starting at the very top of your head and moving down like a soothing balm across your forehead. Feel the tiny, delicate muscles around your eyes completely let go, softening your eyelids until they feel wonderfully heavy and relaxed. Release any tightness you might be holding in your jaw, allowing your teeth to part slightly and letting your tongue rest loosely, freeing your throat and your neck from any lingering stiffness. Feel this beautiful wave of calm flow smoothly down into your shoulders, making them feel loose and wonderfully heavy, as if a large, invisible weight has been gently lifted from them. The relaxation cascades down your arms, passing through your elbows, down into your wrists, and flowing all the way out through the tips of your fingers. Your chest rises and falls with an easy cadence, moving in perfect harmony with the peaceful quiet of your room. This soothing sensation now travels down into your stomach, smoothing out any tightness and filling your center with a deep, unshakable sense of security. Now, let that relaxation flow down into your hips and move through the large muscles of your thighs. Feel your legs growing heavier and heavier with every passing second as the calm travels down through your knees, into your calves, and releases out through your ankles, your feet, and the very tips of your toes. Your entire body now feels beautifully grounded, completely supported by your bed, and totally immersed in a state of deep, physical peace. You are entirely safe, you are beautifully protected, and your mind is now ready to wander into a journey of light, shadow, and quiet wonder. Imagine now a quiet room where the thoughts of the day have completely settled. The world outside is vast and remarkably still. Through a nearby window, a soft, pearlescent glow begins to illuminate the space, painting the floorboards in beautiful shades of silver and blue. It is the light of a magnificent full moon rising high into a clear, deep indigo sky. The moonlight feels cool, gentle, and incredibly inviting, calling to your spirit to step away from the familiar and to embark on a peaceful evening walk toward a magical forest where the trees shimmer like starlight and the night whispers secrets of perfect, undisturbed rest. You stand quietly in the center of your peaceful room, looking toward the wide wooden window frame that opens up to the vast, velvet night. The air inside is perfectly comfortable, but as you approach the window, a gentle breeze glides into the room, bringing with it the crisp, refreshing scent of nighttime air, wild lavender, and damp earth. This cool breeze catches the edges of the soft linen curtains, causing them to drift inward with a slow, hypnotic wave that looks like a calm breath entering and leaving the house. You take a long, slow breath in, letting that clean, cool air fill your chest, clearing away any remaining warmth or heaviness from the day. Outside, the world is bathed in an extraordinary, luminous beauty. The full moon hangs like a brilliant silver coin in the absolute center of a clear, deep indigo sky, casting a soft, pearlescent glow over everything it touches. The rooftops of the sleepy town, the distant rolling hills, and the long grass in the garden all shimmer under this celestial light, creating a landscape made entirely of silver and shadow. Directly below your window, a narrow stone path extends outward from the garden gate, winding its way toward the dark, inviting line of a distant woodland. The path seems to glow with its own internal light, the pale stones catching the moonbeams and reflecting them back toward the sky like a trail of fallen starlight. There are no footsteps on the path, no voices in the air, and no movements anywhere to be seen. The entire universe has entered a state of sacred, beautiful quiet, waiting just for you. You slide your hand gently over the smooth, cool wood of the windowsill, feeling completely anchored in the safety of this moment. A deep sense of peaceful curiosity begins to stir within your chest, a gentle invitation to step out of the familiar walls of your home and walk along that illuminated trail. You know, with absolute certainty, that this night is a gift, a private sanctuary created specifically to lead your spirit into a deep, restorative state of total relaxation. Moving with a slow, weightless grace, you leave the room behind, stepping through the doorway and out into the cool, beautiful embrace of the evening. The air outside wraps around your shoulders like a lightweight, comforting shawl, perfectly balanced and completely refreshing. Your eyes remain fixed on the glowing silver path before you as you prepare to take your very first, unhurried steps into the quiet wonder of the moonlit night, leaving all your earthbound worries far behind. Your feet find the start of the narrow stone path, and as you take your first few steps, you feel an immediate connection to the grounding peace of the earth. The pale stones beneath you are smooth and cool, worn down by time, and perfectly arranged to guide you forward without any effort. A thin layer of evening dew blankets the grass along the edges of the trail, catching the brilliant light of the full moon and transforming the ground into a field of tiny, shimmering diamonds that sparkle with every shift of your gaze. You walk with a slow, deliberate pace, letting your arms swing loosely at your sides and keeping your posture completely relaxed. There is absolutely no rush to reach a destination. In this beautiful space, time has slowed down to a gentle crawl, allowing you to savor the unique texture of every single moment. With every step you take, you feel a deep sense of weightlessness, as if the heavy gravity of your daily responsibilities is being left behind, dissolving into the cool night air with every breath you release. The path curves gently through an open meadow, where the tall wild grasses sway ever so slightly in the evening breeze. A soft, soothing hush, hush, hush sound rises from the fields, a gentle whisper that feels incredibly comforting and rhythmic. The fragrance of the meadow is rich and deeply relaxing, a beautiful blend of damp clover, sweet night-blooming jasmine, and the crisp, clean scent of open air. You inhale this natural balm deeply, letting its calming properties settle into the very center of your chest. Looking ahead, you see the glowing silver path continuing its smooth journey toward the edge of a magnificent, quiet forest. The tree line stands tall and proud against the deep indigo sky, but it does not feel dark or forbidding. Instead, the outer trees seem to be reaching out, their branches illuminated by the pearlescent moonbeams, welcoming you into their quiet sanctuary. You feel completely protected, entirely safe, and beautifully supported by the peaceful environment around you. As you reach the end of the meadow, the stones beneath your feet transition smoothly into a soft, earth-tone trail covered in a gentle layer of fallen pine needles. The transition is completely silent, dampening the sound of your footsteps and preparing your senses for the deeper quiet of the woods. You pause for just a brief, peaceful moment at the edge of the trees, looking back at the open moonlit valley, before turning your eyes forward, ready to step into the enchanted heart of the silver forest. Standing at the threshold of the woodland, you take a long, incredibly slow breath, allowing your senses to adjust to the deeper peace of this ancient space. The air here feels a little cooler, rich with the grounding sense of damp moss, old bark, and the sharp, clean fragrance of wild pine. As you listen closely, the silence of the night begins to reveal a beautiful, intricate melody. It is the sound of the night breeze, moving gently through the highest branches of the tall trees far above your head. The wind travels in slow, predictable waves, creating a soft, cascading murmur that sounds like a distant ocean tide rolling onto a smooth canvas of sand. A gentle shhhu echoes through the canopy, a steady, rhythmic sigh that carries a deeply hypnotic quality. It feels as though the entire forest is breathing together in a state of absolute harmony, inhaling the cool starlight and exhaling a deep wave of pure, undisturbed tranquility down onto the path below. This gentle melody has a profound effect on your mind, acting like a soft brush that sweeps away any stray thoughts or lingering echoes of the waking world. You find yourself completely matching the rhythm of the wind, your chest rising and falling in perfect synchronization with the slow breathing of the trees. All the complexity of your daily life dissolves into this singular, beautiful texture of sound, leaving your mind completely clear, still, and beautifully at peace. The moonlight filters through the high canopy and long, elegant pillars of pale blue and silver light. These luminous beams illuminate the air, catching the tiny, floating specks of dust and turning them into a slow dance of golden glitter that drifts lazily through the space. You walk forward beneath these pillars of light, feeling their cool, soothing touch on your skin, a comforting presence that reassures you that you are precisely where you are supposed to be. With every step you take under the whispering branches, your body relaxes a little bit more, your shoulders dropping completely and your arms feeling wonderfully loose and unburdened. The path before you remains smooth and completely clear, winding deeper into the safe embrace of the woods. You move forward with a light, grateful heart, listening to the gentle lullaby of the breeze, and prepare to witness the true, hidden wonders that lie just ahead in the Silver Valley. The gentle trail brings you to a magnificent, natural archway formed by the ancient branches of two massive oak trees. Their trunks are wide and stable, covered in thick patterns of bark that have stood watch over this valley for centuries. This is the gateway to the Silver Woods, a place where the ordinary laws of the world gently dissolve, giving way to an environment of pure, unconditional peace. As you step beneath the archway, you feel a subtle, comforting shift in the atmosphere, as if you are crossing into a deeper, safer layer of rest. Inside the gateway, the forest reveals its true, breathtaking beauty. The trees here are completely unique. Their bark holds a soft, metallic sheen that catches the full moon's light, reflecting it back in gentle waves of pale pewter and platinum. The forest floor is no longer dark, but is instead illuminated by a soft, luminous quality that seems to rise directly from the earth itself. Every root, every stone, and every single leaf is touched by this celestial silver, creating a landscape that looks like a living painting made of starlight. You walk slowly through this gateway, your steps completely silent on the soft, cushioned ground. The air is remarkably still here, completely sheltered from the outer world by the protective embrace of the ancient trees. A profound sense of sanctuary settles over you, a deep knowing that within these woods, nothing can disturb your peace, nothing can rush your journey, and absolutely nothing can pull you away from the safety of this moment. You stop for a brief moment to look up through the branches. The full moon is perfectly framed by the silver canopy, its brilliant surface casting a protective shield of light over your entire path. The deep indigo sky beyond the leaves is filled with thousands of tiny, twinkling stars, each one a quiet witness to your peaceful journey. You take a deep, slow breath, filling your lungs with the pristine, cool air of the inner woods, feeling completely purified and unburdened. The path ahead opens up into a wider, gentle corridor of silver-bark trees, their leaves shimmering like tiny mirrors in the midnight air. You feel an incredibly gentle pull to continue your walk, guided entirely by the soft radiance of the forest and the deep, comforting stillness that resides within your own heart. With a mind completely free of thought, you step forward into the silver corridor, ready to immerse yourself in the deep tranquility that awaits you. As you venture further along the silver corridor, a delicate new texture of sound begins to surround you. The night breeze, high up in the canopy, descends ever so gently into the lower branches, brushing against the unique, shimmering leaves of the silver trees. Unlike ordinary leaves, these hold a soft, crystalline quality that creates a beautiful, metallic whisper whenever they move. A quiet, rhythmic hush-tick cascades down from the branches, sounding like thousands of tiny, silver wind chimes vibrating in perfect, quiet harmony. The sound is incredibly delicate, a soft and satisfying percussion that carries a deeply hypnotic rhythm. It seems to wrap around your consciousness like a gentle, protective wave, sweeping away any remaining echoes of noise from the outer world. With every slow step you take, the rhythmic rustling of the leaves acts like a gentle anchor for your mind, focusing your awareness entirely on the peaceful texture of the present moment and allowing your thoughts to dissolve into the steady, soothing cadence of the forest. You look up to see the leaves catching the direct light of the full moon. They shimmer in brilliant shades of diamond white, pale blue, and soft platinum, scattering the moonbeams across the path in a beautiful, constantly shifting mosaic of light and shadow. The forest floor appears to be dancing in super slow motion as the luminous patterns glide lazily across the soft moss and the smooth roots. It is a visual lullaby, designed specifically to calm your gaze and lull your mind into a state of deep, effortless relaxation. You stretch out your hand as you walk, gently brushing your fingers against a low-hanging branch. The leaves feel remarkably cool and as light as silk thread against your skin, leaving a faint, pleasant tingling sensation that further releases any tension in your hand and arm. The rich, clean fragrance of wild mint and sweet cedarwood rises from the undergrowth, mixing with the cool air and filling your chest with a profound sense of grounding comfort. The path begins to slope gently downward, leading you toward a lower clearing where the silver trees part slightly, revealing a new space of absolute stillness. The soft rustle of the shimmering leaves remains behind you as a comforting, distant background layer, a steady reminder of the forest's gentle protection. You move forward with a heavy, deeply relaxed stride, completely surrendered to the tranquil atmosphere and ready to discover the peaceful water that lies just ahead. The gentle slope brings you to the edge of a magnificent, hidden clearing where the silver trees part completely to reveal a wide, perfectly circular lake. The water is so dark and so wonderfully still that it looks like a massive sheet of polished black obsidian resting quietly in the center of the valley. The surface is a flawless, unbroken mirror, capturing the absolute image of the night sky above. In the exact center of the water, the brilliant full moon is reflected with such crystal clarity that it feels as though you are standing on the very edge of the universe. You walk slowly down to the water's edge, where the path transitions into a soft bank of fine, silver sand. You pause, standing perfectly still, as you look out over the expansive, quiet water. There is not a single ripple on the lake, not a single disturbance to break the beautiful illusion. The mountains in the distance, the thousands of twinkling stars, and the glowing silver canopy are all perfectly doubled in the mirror surface, creating a world of total symmetry and absolute, deep peace. A very low, gentle mist hangs just an inch above the water, drifting lazily in long, slow curls that look like ribbons of soft white silk. This gentle mist catches the pearlescent moonlight, glowing with a soft, ethereal light that warms the edge of the lake. The air here feels incredibly pure, crisp, and completely tranquil, holding a deep stillness that seems to slow down your own heartbeat, matching it to the calm, steady rhythm of the natural world. You take a deep, exceptionally slow breath, feeling the cool, refreshing moisture of the lake air fill your lungs, washing through your body and leaving you feeling completely clear and light. All the weight of your memories, all the expectations of tomorrow, and all the noise of life completely dissolve as you stare into the reflection of the moon. In this moment, you are completely unified with the stillness of the water, resting in a safe sanctuary where time holds absolutely no power over you. Along the curve of the shore, just a few steps away, you notice a beautiful bank of thick, emerald green moss that looks like a plush, inviting mattress waiting under the silver light. The environment has prepared a perfect place for you to rest your weary body, a safe cocoon where you can finally surrender the very last boundaries of your consciousness. Moving with a heavy, deeply relaxed pace, you turn toward the soft bank, ready to lay down your weight and fully embrace the night. You walk slowly over to the wide bank of moss, each step feeling heavier and more wonderfully relaxed than the last. The moss grows in thick, rolling cushions that have spent the entire night absorbing the gentle warmth of the silver earth and the cool, soft light of the full moon. As you slowly lower your body down onto this natural mattress, you feel it instantly give way under your weight, contouring perfectly to the shape of your spine, your neck, and your shoulders with a deep, supportive comfort that feels almost weightless. You let your head sink back into a particularly thick, plush mound of moss, feeling all the remaining tension in your neck muscles completely melt away into the earth. You stretch your legs out fully across the cool, velvet surface, letting your feet fall open loosely to the sides. Your arms rest naturally by your flanks, sinking an inch into the soft green carpet. There is absolutely no resistance here. The ground beneath you is holding you with an unconditional safety, a profound security that allows your entire physical form to completely surrender its strength. From this comfortable perspective, you look up through a small opening in the silver branches above. The brilliant full moon is floating directly overhead, casting a wide, protective beam of pearlescent light down across your resting body. This light feels like a warm, weightless blanket, wrapping you in a cocoon of celestial peace that isolates you from any worries of the waking world. The rich, grounding fragrance of damp earth, sweet wild fern, and crushed pine needles settles heavily over your senses, creating a thick atmosphere of pure, uninterrupted rest. Your eyelids are now feeling incredibly heavy, drifting down naturally, and then opening just a tiny sliver to watch the soft silver mist curl lazily across the black mirror of the lake. Every breath you take is now exceptionally slow, deep, and rhythmic, moving in perfect cadence with the gentle rising and falling of the quiet valley. Your chest moves with a beautiful, unhurried ease, drawing in the restorative calm of the silver woods and releasing any final, tiny fragments of conscious thought into the midnight air. You are completely safe here, perfectly warm and beautifully hidden in the quiet heart of the enchanted forest. The long journey behind you is fully complete, and the space around you is entirely quiet, waiting silently as your spirit begins to detach from the physical world. As your eyes slowly close once more, a faint, beautiful movement begins to sparkle in the dark corners of the clearing, preparing a gentle visual lullaby to guide you into your deepest slumber. Resting deeply on your warm bed of moss, your eyes open just a tiny fraction to witness one final, beautiful wonder of the silver woods. Out from the dark shadows beneath the silver-barked trees, a tiny, glowing point of pale gold light drifts lazily into the open clearing. Then, another appears, and another, until hundreds of luminous fireflies are floating silently across the dark mirror of the lake. They do not flicker with a harsh, bright flash, but instead breathe with a slow, gentle pulse, fading in and out like distant, rhythmic stars. The fireflies move in a beautiful, slow-motion dance, their path completely silent and unhurried as they glide just above the soft white mist. They rise and fall in a state of perfect harmony, drawing elegant lines of warm amber and pale emerald light through the cool midnight air. This gentle choreography carries an incredibly hypnotic quality, a visual lullaby that captures the very last, delicate remnants of your awareness and smooths them out into a state of total, undisturbed tranquility. As you watch the glowing patterns expand and contract across the black water, your mind matches their peaceful, rhythmic cadence. The rise and fall of the lights perfectly mimics the slow, heavy movement of your own breathing. Inhale, and the clearing fills with a soft, warm radiance. Exhale, and the light gently dims, drifting away into the velvet shadows of the evening. All the remaining complexity of your conscious thought dissolves into this beautiful, silent rhythm, leaving your mind completely clear, still, and entirely at peace. The fireflies slowly drift closer to the shore, gathering in a protective circle around your mossy sanctuary. They pulse with a comforting, protective warmth, casting soft shadows across your closed eyelids and reassuring you that you are perfectly safe, beautifully taken care of, and completely insulated from the rest of the world. The rich fragrance of sweet cedar and nighttime air wraps heavily around your senses, pulling you deeper and deeper into the quiet dark. Your eyelids feel impossibly heavy now, closing fully as the golden lights blend together into a soft, comforting haze behind your eyes. You are standing on the very edge of a deep, beautiful sleep, entirely ready to let go of the physical world and ready to drift away into the endless, timeless peace of the moonlit valley. The silent dance of the golden fireflies has slowly slowed down, and the beautiful clearing has returned to its deep, eternal state of absolute stillness. The tiny lights have drifted back into the shadows of the silver trees, and their glowing patterns have melted away into the dark mirror of the lake. The long, beautiful journey through the meadow, beneath the whispering breeze, and along the silver path is now fully and completely complete. There is absolutely nothing left for you to see, there is nothing left for you to hear, and there is completely nothing left for you to do. Deep within the protected sanctuary of the Silver Woods, you lie perfectly still on your thick, warm bed of velvet moss. You look out one final time from beneath heavy eyelids at the vast, indigo night sky, feeling a deep, unshakable sense of security washing over your entire being. Your mind has been honored, your body has been blessed with absolute comfort, and your heart is entirely at peace. The journey is behind you, fully finished, and tomorrow is a distant horizon that does not require a single thought. You sink even deeper beneath the weightless warmth of the moon's pearlescent light, letting your physical form blend fully into the plush, welcoming layers of the earth. Your breathing can now synchronize effortlessly with the slow rhythm of the valley, moving like a slow, heavy wave that gently rocks your consciousness deeper into the quiet dark. With every long, exceptionally slow exhalation, your mind drops away from the waking world, releasing the very last, delicate boundaries between the active body and the beautiful realm of deep dreams. Your mind is completely clear, as still and vast as the black mirror lake under the fading mist. You are beautifully safe, warm, and deeply cared for by the gentle universe around you. You are floating away now, stepping off the very edge of the evening and drifting effortlessly down into a long, heavy, and dreamless sleep. The absolute warmth of this peaceful forest wraps around you like a soft shroud of silk. You are letting go, completely letting go, falling into the deepest peace of the endless, cozy night. Sleep now, in the quiet rhythm of the silver woods. Sleep. Sleep.